It's going to be starting soon, but right now we're just here, just sort of hanging out a bit while I set everything up, because this stream is going to be a little bit different, guys. Just give me a little second while I'm actually tweeting out about the stream, which is what I'm just doing right now on my phone, which is just here. Let's see. Tweetified. Good. Okay. I'll bring up my notes. Right, so we're going to chat for a little bit before we get kicked off. I'll explain how things are going to work this evening. The official part of the stream is going to be 55 minutes long. We're going to chat a little bit before and a little bit after. But those will be the non-official part of the streams. What you're basically going to get tonight here in the live portion, okay, is what I'm lovingly referring to as the Snyder cut of this particular live stream. So what I'm doing is, as you've probably gathered, I'm in Share Factory Studio, since you're seeing two portions of the screen here. One over here with me, and the other one over there with some Stray gameplay. Oh, I do love a little bit of camaraderie in my chat, that's nice. Oh, please, no real names for me, because I try to avoid that, but thanks, Benj. Anyway, so this particular stream, as you can see, it's in Share Factory. Now, I did this for two reasons. One, so you can see me bigger and better, and so you don't get the green screen mess behind me, because for some reason when I stream on PlayStation 5, I get green screen fog. But when I make a video on PlayStation 5, I get no green screen fog. Unless I get some random light in and that messes with the colour balance, but that happens so rarely it's not worth talking about. So, basically what's going to happen tonight is there's bits like this before the stream and after the stream, which are still the stream. But what's happening is the 55-minute portion, what you're going to basically see when I start properly will be a thank you to all the people and organizations that have been with me along the way, who have been so very helpful in my YouTube journey. So a proper thank you and acknowledgement to all those people and bodies. And then I've got a couple of announcements to make. And then I'm going to open the floor up to you guys to ask questions. And hopefully as we go through this, and while I'm letting people flood in and get things started, that gives enough time for people to turn up and get settled, get a drink, get a couple of snacks, kick back and enjoy it. And what you're basically going to get is, once it's all been made and it's all been filmed, and we'll chat for a little bit afterwards, don't worry, the main portion of it is then going to be here in Share Factory. Unfortunately, I didn't get all that message because not all of it came up on screen. I tell you what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to make this note smaller. I'm going to go into the stream. Let's see. All right. Cool. Anyway, so this portion, the recorded portion, will be launched as well as this live portion. So you'll have the Snyder cut and you'll have the clean cut. So basically there's going to be two versions of this stream. What you're seeing now, which is just as I said, the Snyder cut. And then there'll also be alongside, for whoever wants to see it, you're basically going to get afterwards, well, I'll still be streaming, but I'll not be recording it. You'll also see how the sausage is made, how I actually put together a Zembloke video. R-rated cut. I think your reference might be a little bit old for some of the younger ones, Benji, but you made Zembloke laugh, so that's good on you, mate. Or X-rated even more so. Oh, God. Right, so basically that's the run of things tonight. There's going to be two versions of this video. There's going to be the live uncut version. This pizza goes. Rid of that. You can make some long time. Funny you should say that. That is something that's coming up. Wow, these comments keep cutting out. Keep making up really, really small boxes. All right. So yeah, two versions. They're going to be the clean cut down version. They also get to see me make, and it's also going to be this long Snyder cut version where we just have a bit of fun. I reckon we give that about another 5 minutes before we really kick in, and I hit the timer and I start to make this video, because on Share Factory you can only make videos that are an hour long. You can't go over that because Share Factory doesn't have the memory capacity to make a video longer than that, let alone share it to the YouTube server. So that's why I'm going for a 55-minute time limit. That's as much as I dare go, considering I might have to add bits in and stuff. Chloe, hey! Wait a minute, you've used my face as your avatar? Wow, you are a committed member of the Zen fam. That's enough respect. My G, is that what is good? Oh no, that's WSG. I don't know what that means, but okay. Oh God, yes, I am most certainly watching State of Play this night, PS3 Gaming Scotland, definitely. But it's one of the other reasons why the stream is not going to be a big, long affair. So I don't know if you caught the explanation, PS3, but basically, the stream is being done two ways. What you're seeing right now is the Snyder cut. What you see around me is also then going to be the clean cut, which will then, both versions will be released on YouTube. And afterwards, once the stream is done, I will still be streaming, technically speaking. Right, the stream will still be technically living, but then you actually get to see me make a Zenbloke video. I think we're going to give it just a couple more minutes, let a few more people roll in, because there's a couple of people I really want to see come in tonight. And it's not that long since I sent the tweet saying that this video is live. So I'm really hoping people are going to turn up. If not, they'll hopefully see at least the VOD. And when the VOD goes live, I'd really appreciate it if anybody out there in the Zen fam would please repost it, because that would be quite wonderful. Well, I don't have a computer that's good enough. Hey, linked, nice. So yeah, I only have my PS5 and I have a really old MacBook 10 and a clapped out Windows 8 PC that's dying on its bum. So yeah, I don't have OBS, and not only that, I don't even know how to use it. I've got a video saved on one of my watch lists of how to work OBS, but I've just never really got round to it yet. Just because, work-life balance, man. I got a kid and all that. There's only so many hours in the day, and until I get a decent computer, it's not really going to be worth me trying to learn all this stuff and then never get to use it while I'm not using a computer that is mince. So it just wouldn't be practical right now. In the future, hopefully, yes, I can, and that would be absolutely lovely. Can I get your phone on the phone? If you're asking for my phone number, most certainly not. But if you want to know what kind of phone I'm using, it's probably better that I just tell you what kind of phone I use. Being as I'm a content creator, I use a Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. I've had this phone for a couple of years now, and it's a really, really good phone. It's got excellent battery life, and it is perfect for content creation, both out and about, and I also use it to make my thumbnails, and I even use it to make the designs on the Redbubble store. Right then, I think it's probably about time that we actually got this proper stream underway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back to like that. I'm going to go over here and start the actual video. So first will be the acknowledgement of all the people that have helped me along the way. Then we'll get into the announcements, and then I open the floor to you guys, and you can all get stuck in and ask questions, and we'll have a bit of a laugh before I have to stop the actual recording part of the video, and then you'll get to see me make the video. So should be all fun and the fair. Right, so I'm going to start the timer now, and I'm going to start the recording now. Okay. So I'm not going to be looking at the chat, but you guys can have fun nonetheless. And I give myself 10 seconds of cut-in time. Hey Zen fam! Welcome to the stream. Well, here we are. 9 years of hard work, sweat, determination, shares, and collabs and all the rest of it. And we're here at 500 subscribers. All thanks to you glorious Zen fam. In fact, earlier today, I noticed that basically I'm now standing at 506 subscribers. I mean, like, amazing. I've been at this so long, I often doubted sometimes if I would ever get here. It always felt like this far off dream. Now, yes, obviously, the main part I've always wanted to do, ever since I first started, was I thought I'd love to get to 2K. 2K would be a nice place to be. I'd have some recognition. I'd have a regular subscriber base. People always ready to watch my content. And it would just be, a good place to be. I'd never be mad rich, but I never got into this to be rich or famous. I got into this because I'm opinionated and I love gaming. So that's just where I saw it going. So now that I am a quarter of the way to that particular sort of dream goal from when I first started this craziness, I feel a bit more legit these days. Now that I've got that 500 banked, I feel like, I actually just am someone that is actually doing stuff on YouTube. I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm making moves. It feels good. So with that, I should probably start to talk about the YouTube journey that I've been on all these years. I think what I need to start is probably where the idea came from. I think the idea comes from, first of all, 3 particular YouTubers that I still watch to this day. Ollie43, I've adored his content for like a decade at least. And, he's just an average British bloke making content, making people laugh, entertaining folk. And he's just an average guy. And then I also saw Richard Review Tech USA. Yet again, similar story. Average bloke, just doing YouTube, hoping to entertain people, and just going for it. And then the third one that really made it hit home for me, when I really felt a sense of, yeah, that guy's like me. I could totally do this. Alpha Omega Sin, who recently came back to YouTube after a couple of years of hiatus. And like me, Alpha is a fellow metalhead, who loves his gaming. And once I saw these 3 guys, I started to think, hey, I could do this. And at one point, I did start to do YouTube, but I was never very consistent, and I kind of fell off the YouTube train. And then a couple of years later, I sort of thought, after watching more of these guys, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take another crack at this. And I heard that, like, the Hate Bit podcast, which was this podcast I used to watch back in the day, was, apparently looking for another cast member, or at least someone to guest occasionally when one of the other cast members wouldn't be able to cast. So I sent in an audition video. I gave it a go, and obviously I was unsuccessful. I had almost no YouTube experience. So of course they roundly rejected me. I would roundly reject me. So yeah, as I applied to be on the Hate Bit podcast, and they didn't take me. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to get seen. I'm going to make a good go of this YouTube thing. I'm going to have a crack at it for proper this time. And then I basically got on my first ever video, which was, I think I called it Back on the Horse or something, some silly title like that. And the weird thing is, over the years, as that video was passed from server to server to server, the sound quality has gotten worse and worse and worse. I mean, it was a bit poppy and cracky beforehand, because I was using the inbuilt microphone of a Windows XP computer I had at the time that was already secondhand to begin with, you know. So yeah, that was just not how I was going to rock and roll forever, obviously, because that computer was, well, geek. But it served me well for those first few months of making videos. And, I would sit in front of the computer and try to make sure that the lounge didn't look like too much of a tip, and just make videos and speak my truth. And yeah, so Alpha Omega Sin, Richard VTech USA, and Ollie43 were my main inspirations. Then, after a while, I decided that I needed to be better at sort of like doing things and have better content making tools. And also, I wanted to get into social media because I realized that being a YouTuber meant you had to be in on social media, because YouTube itself is a social media platform. And at that point, where I was working, there was an O2 store. And the O2 store, you know, a lot of their staff came to my coffee shop for a lot of their stuff, their breaks, their lunches and stuff. And I got friendly with one particular member of staff by the name of Leah. And Leah and me were still pretty matey online. We don't see each other because she's living away down in England these days. But we correspond every once in a while. And she's really cool. And she used to be an O2 guru. And she helped me get my first phone and get me all sorted out. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never bought a phone before. I mean, the phone I had previously, which was technically a smartphone, but it was actually just a piece of rubbish, was this thing. It was called a Samsung Genio Plus. I won it off a website, and honest to God, it was trash. It was absolutely rubbish. I mean, it was all full of proprietary cabling and stuff, and you didn't even have a headphone jack. You had a plug thing with two plugs that were off center that you put into it. It was like one of those weird sort of headphone jacks you have on an airplane. It was kind of like that, and you plugged your headphones into that, and your headphone cable also doubled as an antenna for the inbuilt FM radio. I mean, this thing was a junk. It was absolute terribleness in mobile phone form. And I just realised that my timer, for some reason, has stopped being a timer. So I'm going to have to chance this and put 45 minutes on the clock, and hopefully that'll be fine. So, where was I? Yeah, so she helped me get my first ever proper mobile phone, and I got myself a Sony Xperia SP. And I loved that phone. It was so good. It did so much, had great resolution for the time, and it allowed me to basically make YouTube videos. So what I would do is I would take my phone and I put it up on top of the telly, and I would have a mirror behind it, and I would check my position, and then I would basically go over, hit the key, and I had a couple of seconds to get back into position before it would actually start to record. I would get back over here, and basically I would talk. And then after a couple of years, I decided it would be fun to like sit and talk, because that seemed to be the thing on YouTube at that time, sitting and talking to an audience. And I did sitting and talking for a really long time. And then I got back on my feet again. It's all part and parcel of the mad YouTube journey. But basically, Leah helped me get my first bit of real YouTube kit, in an essence, because that's how I got, my proper filming done with really nice resolution, because I had that camera. And that camera served me well for a good few years. I'm on mute. Can anybody else hear me? Can anybody else hear me? Stop talking amongst yourselves and let me know, can you hear me? Good. Thank you, PS3. I knew I could rely on you. IT ho. Oh, your video was on mute. Okie dokie. Right. So where was I? Oh yeah. And once I had that going, then I was able. I was still using the computer from time to time because I had to use the computer to edit the videos. Because basically at that point, YouTube had an inbuilt editor within it. So I would take the videos, I would shoot them onto the YouTube server, but leave them as unlisted, and then I would edit them in YouTube, sticking on my logo, which at that point was basically still just my logo on a piece of paper, photoed and or videoed, depending. I can't remember exactly quite how I did it back then, but basically it was just a still image. I didn't actually get the image you see now of the rotating logo for a good couple of years. And that came about through various things that I'll come to later. Now, the next step in the YouTube journey, which I am eternally grateful for, and I am still very good friends with this particular YouTube gentleman. He still does gaming content, but not as much these days. Mostly these days, he's centered on writing his book. I think he's written his first book. It's still in the editing process, and he's about to start working on his second book. And you can't hear me, Timmy. That's strange, because other people can hear me. Oh, I'm your icon. Sweet. Anyway, Mr. Wingy Gaming, or Dan is Writing as he's now on Twitter. And basically, Wingy Gaming had the Wingy Gaming podcast, which happened roughly every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on news levels and stuff, and getting it together and that. And I did that show for ages. I came on at one episode, and they liked me so much that they said, "Do you want to come back and do more?" And I was like, "Yes." I just loved podcasting from the beginning. I've been on many podcasts, which I'll talk about later. And I just really, really like podcasting. I don't know what it is. It just as a format of entertainment, I love participating in. So basically, Wingy Gaming and the other full timer there, a guy by the name of Cycle Gamer, who's a lovely chap. I've not looked in ages, but he probably is. So Wingy and Cycle, the three of us together, just smashing it up every once in a while, talking the news, having a good laugh, and that was great. And that was one of the things that really got the ball rolling, because then my name was getting out there because I was on somebody with a bigger level of platform than me. And that started to get me seen a bit, and when people started to know who I was, and I was getting some click-throughs from that, which was great, you know. Uh, so once I did that particular bit, then I was able to get on another podcast, which I was doing at the same time. And this podcast was made by Foxy Games UK, or they used to just go by Foxy Games at the time. And he had this podcast. He ran it for a good 2-3 years, called The Gamer Couch. And the Gamer Couch was a little bit more serious, a bit more topical newsy, and trying to be much more on it. And it was strictly on a strict schedule. It would always happen at this point. And it would fluctuate between like 4 to like 8 of us at any given week. And it was a really good podcast. It was a really tight unit. And it taught me a lot about podcasting, you know, but like when to listen for when you can speak and when you can make a point. And often I found I was generally the only person on a lot of podcasts most of the time who's happy to be on camera, which I find funny. You know, you're YouTubers, you figure you'd be okay on camera, but then not all YouTubers are on camera. A lot of people do faceless channels, even these days. So I got my experience in podcasting through Wingy, and then further experience from Foxy Games UK. So both of those gentlemen, thank you kindly. You did a lot to help me in the early days, get me seen, get me noticed, you know, and that was fantastic. And from that, I've been on many other podcasts. I mean, I've been on a Nerdic podcast, a Nerdic gaming podcast. I've been on the Fought Chronicles, so obviously from that I have to thank Captain Privilege, Grandmaster Tech, Yang Young, and Manny Set. All great guys. Now, admittedly, that podcast was more sort of topical of the week, craziness that happened on social media. You know, we discussed the week sort of social media news, and this was all during lockdown. But they were fun guys, great guys, and a great podcast. What else who else do I have to thank? Let's see. Yes, I most certainly must have to thank Dapper Paper Bag, who herself is a wonderful content creator, and she used to run a YouTube group. Now, not YouTube, sorry, a Twitch group, and Twitter. Good God, I can't get my words right tonight. So, on Twitter, you used to have these YouTube groups where you could actually separate out a different conversation, and it was all a different layout and everything, and you could just talk with people, and it was brilliant. You know, you could share like-minded people together and help each other in goals, and this was a YouTuber content creator group, so we were all helping each other and stuff, and it's where I met the other guy that is responsible for, even today, for the intro sequence you see now. Even though it's much shorter than it used to be, he created the model for it. And that gentleman goes by the name of Cheese Fund. And basically, he charged me a very lovely rate for that particular spinning logo, and I love it. So, yeah, great guy. And if you ever need a piece of art done, especially digital art, go to Cheese Fund. You will not go far wrong with that. Let's see. So I thanked Cheese Fund. I thanked Leah. I guess one of the other organizations I have to thank is, believe it or not, I have to thank PlayStation. And I have to thank PlayStation because basically, without PlayStation, Share Factory, this program I'm using right now, would not exist. And Share Factory has been endlessly useful to me over the years. In fact, it's my primary means of making videos. I used to do some video making on my phone or on my tablet if I needed to be on the move. But, yeah, most of my content is made here in Share Factory. And from my PlayStation 4 to now my PlayStation 5, and now with Share Factory Studio on PlayStation 5, I found this to be an excellent platform, and I've done so much in the time to find out how to squeeze the absolute maximum out of this particular bit of video editing software. And it's worked tremendously well for me over the years. Yes, there's still things I wish I could do in it, you know, but it doesn't cost anything to have Share Factory Studio. You know, it comes with the system, so, you know, I can't be choosy, can I now? You know, if I'm getting it for free. So yes, thank you PlayStation for Share Factory Studio. And with Share Factory Studio, there's one other thank you that definitely comes along with that. There's a user out there, I don't know if she's still a member of the Zen fam, I would certainly hope so, and if you're out there and you're hearing this thank you is definitely for you because you did a big thing to help this channel go forward. Lana Blarp. Lana Blarp basically showed me how to green screen. Once I learned how to green screen, this entire channel, in my personal opinion, took a leap forward. It really did. Because now I'm able to do so much more with green screening. If I'm talking about a particular subject matter, I can whack it up behind me, you know? And I've got this continually changing background of gameplay, you know, that I think is just more interested in the background rather than just a wall of games or the wallpaper of my lounge, you know, because the lounge is the studio is the lounge, and basically every time I do a video, I have to make the studio and demake the studio. That's what I do for you guys. Every time I make a video for you, I literally build my studio and then deconstruct my studio. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everybody I should thank apart from two people, and these two people get the ultimate amount of thanks. Basically, my mum. She left us about 5 years ago, and I miss her. But without her support and her, you know, basically getting me started in gaming, this wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't be into gaming if not for my mum. I mean, my mum was the first person to take me to a cafe where there was actually a 2-player tabletop Galaxian unit that I played on when I was single digits. You know, she got me and my sister a Commodore 16 when I was like 8 and she was like 5 or 6 or something. It's like, oh, dude, it's a long time ago, but thank you. So yeah, she bought us that Commodore 16, and I played it. I really loved that machine. It was so good. And even though it took me the longest time to get money together for a system of my own, and most of my play before then was done either on friends' systems or in the arcade. Yes, because I have an arcade background. There's for the arcade. Uh, it was the longest time before I got my original PlayStation, and without my mother's influence, I would never be into video games. And mums are special. Mums are magic. It's that simple. And the other person I have to thank, and this is very much a thankless thing, is I have to thank my wife. Because she puts up with this craziness that I do. I know anytime she hears me talking about YouTube stuff, her eyebrows are in the ceiling. It's like, and I know that this YouTube malarkey gets in the way, and how I have to build and unbuild the studio, and I'm always talking about YouTube with people, and I'm thinking of video ideas, and I'm recording footage for the background, and I'm doing stuff on my phone for thumbnails and all the rest of it, and I'm always plotting and scheming. And she's listened to it a lot while I've been so happy about hitting 500. So she's put up with a lot, man. Oh, dear God. But I love her, and, and there's nothing I would do for her, apart from quit YouTube, obviously. So, yeah, that is all the people I have to thank. Now comes to the point where basically I have a couple of announcements I want to make. Firstly, I'm announcing not so much a competition, but an audition. Over the last couple of years, I've had a number of people come to me go, I would really love to have the chance to become one of your moderators. Whether that be for your Twitch stream or your YouTube streams, which I do stream occasionally YouTube, but I mostly stream on Twitch. But I think I'm going to try and stream a bit more on YouTube because it does seem to be a fun platform. Even though I do have to be careful because I don't swear on this platform. I do swear on Twitch. I allow myself that there, but I don't allow it here. I don't use real names, I don't swear, and I definitely, as a lot of you know, I don't indulge in that console wars nonsense because that I just think is not really great for gaming. And so yeah, if you want to be a moderator of either one of my streaming platforms or both of my streaming platforms, that's all good to me. Then basically what you need to do is I want a 1-minute video detailing why you should be a mod for my platforms. You launch it on YouTube and you tag me in the video. In fact, put me in the title. I want to be Zembloke's mod, and I will watch the videos and I will decide there and then which one of you out there who really wants to be a mod can be that mod. It's quite simple. So you make that video, I watch that video, and I'll watch those videos and see who gets to be a mod. It couldn't be simpler than that. No favoritism. The only thing is, without a video, I have to see you. I want to see you in the video. I need to get a flavour for your character. And then, from there, you will become the mod for my streams, whether that be YouTube or Twitch or both. I think that's probably the best way I can go about it, because I need to know that you know how to do this YouTube game if you're going to be a mod for either one of the two services I provide. Announcement number 2. in the next little while, now that I've finally hit 500 subscribers, once I've figured out how to do it, I am going to set up a Patreon. This Patreon will be purely, solely, and completely only to fund things for making this channel better. Whether that be a passport so I can travel to further away locations, for like conventions and stuff. Great. Or even being able to afford accommodation at the conventions I travel to. No, it's not for rent, because rent is not about the channel. This Patreon will be solely for the channel. Rent comes out of my money that I make through my job. YouTube, as yet, I'm not lucky enough to be able to call it my job. It's what I love to do. Alright? So basically, £1 a month from anybody who wants to. No pressure. If you want to help support this channel become bigger, better and stronger with better equipment, better green screen, maybe at some point, if the money gets, I save enough of it up over time, maybe I can finally get like some decent kit to edit on. Who knows? But basically, a small Patreon just to basically help this channel achieve better equipment and give myself more flexibility so I could do things like go to conventions and report for you guys. Like, I could go to Gamescom next year and be on the ground, be your roving reporter, in Cologne, Germany, being there at Gamescom, giving you, the floor eye view. Because let's face it, how many of us ever really get to go to Gamescom? And so basically, Gamescom, stuff like that, that's what I want to raise the money for. It's not mandatory, you don't have to do it, but if you want to, brilliant. What else do I want to do? I definitely want to try streaming here a bit more on YouTube, but not completely, because I want to keep my streaming primarily on Twitch. I also want to... Oh, thank you. I also want to see about rebooting the Redbubble store, because the designs on the t-shirts, for some reason, they're coming out really, really small. Oh, sorry, you missed the first announcement. The first announcement is I'm looking for a mod, and whoever wants to be a mod is basically to launch a video on YouTube about a minute long explaining why they want to be the mod, and they need to be on camera. So, yeah, I want to reboot. I want to reboot the Redbubble store and basically just make the designs come alive a bit more by increasing the size of the designs. I've got an idea of how I'm going to achieve that. I want to be able to do more things. I want at some point start a podcast. Now, I know podcasts can be a tricky thing because of a retention through the podcast. Now, what I wanted to do a few years ago is I tried to start a podcast purely with other Scottish people. I only ever wanted to work. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it a Scottish YouTuber podcast. Scottish YouTube with Scottish people for Scottish people. And I still want to do it with Scots only. There might be the occasional guest person from another country, but basically I want to keep it Scottish. Because that's my thing. I'm a Scottish guy. I make Scottish content. Hell, I even have the hashtag support Scottish YouTubers series where I showcase other Scottish YouTubers who are underneath 1,000 subscribers. Which, by the way, if you are one, then do please message me, and there's a high probability that I will feature you on that series. I'm always on the hunt for new people to spotlight, because I know what it's like to have nobody see you, and I don't want anybody else to go through that struggle. I want to share the wealth of what kind of small amount of coverage I have. If I can use this platform to do some good, brilliant. Right, so I think that's everything I want to tell you now as far as things coming up for the channel. Podcast, yep. Patreon, yep. Redbubble improvements, yep, and the hunt for a moderator. Don't think there's really much else I can tell you for now. There's some other ideas I got floating in my head. Maybe one of these days I might set up another competition uh, to win your own T-shirt off the Redbubble store. I did this about a year and a bit ago, where I set up a contest where basically you were to bring in you were to post a T-shirt of your design, and then the winning design would become a T-shirt on my Redbubble store, and then you would win your own T-shirt. I would get it printed for you and give it to you. Obviously through the post, because some of you guys live really far away. I mean, I've got people all over the globe as far as what I've been able to see from my analytics. But I think I'll wait a little bit, probably go another little bit in the sub count before I release such a competition, because it didn't really do that well before. I would love if I could make some buffs with the Zenbloke logo on them. Obviously, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, Redbubble does not offer that particular service at the moment. But maybe a strong email thing from all you guys out there. Right, before I get to the Q&A portion of this video within the last 20 minutes of it, well, at least the video part of it, not the live stream part of it, because the rest of this live stream, once the 20 minutes is up, is going to be you seeing how I put a video together. Okay. Yeah, so basically you get to see the video being put together, and that's the announcements. So now, for the last 20 minutes or so, the floor is open to you guys. You may... What on earth is that? You may ask your questions. Please try and keep them relatively gaming and related to stuff of a gaming format, or even ask questions about this particular channel. But questions about my family will be ignored and not answered. You can type them, but you won't get a response. So I wouldn't waste your time. Okay, guys, so try and keep the questions relatively short, because these boxes on the screen that I'm getting, they're really, really small boxes. And please do not use real names of people in my life. That would be most appreciated. Right, so. And you can take that royalist propaganda away, thank you kindly. You do that again, I will remember who you are and I will not speak to you. I am an anti-monarchist, and that is enough. Right, so we're going to keep politics out of this, and we're basically going to ask questions on gaming and on this channel, and maybe a little bit about me, but no family stuff. On you go. Waiting for the first question. Ashok, right, your questions will now be ignored. Teal. NPC. No, I'm real, I'm not a game character. No, I'm just a basic bloke. I do have some friends who are transgender, but I myself am not. I've never really been a PC gamer. I like a controller in my hands, and I just don't want the expense. I mean, PC gaming is so expensive. What games will be at the state of play? Good question. I reckon we're probably going to get Call of the Mountain. The Horizon Zero Dawn PSVR 2 project. That's definitely a thing. We're probably going to see some of the God of War 2. I reckon we'll see a couple other PlayStation related things. We'll probably get even a look at the Twisted Metal series. What's your opinion on... I do not speak on him, for he burnt his bridges in the last last stream, and he now does not exist to me. Let's see. No, I do not speak of him anymore. He burned his bridges. He spoke of my family, and that's enough. Moving on. Next question, please. Seems to be a bit of a problem with the server. Let's come back into this. Let's see. Live chat. This chat doesn't seem to be moving at the same pace as it is on screen. Hopefully nobody said anything there where I was looking at my phone. That's alright, Tommy. You had to try for your friend. I understand. What film TV show would make a good game? Good question. What film or TV show would make a good game? I think you might get a bit. I've not seen it myself, but I've heard enough about it. I think maybe The Boys might prove to be an interesting vehicle for a game. If I understand the point of The Boys properly, then that's an interesting twist on superheroes, which always work well in video games. And the idea of the underdog story and that, I think there could be something in that. Is there any game that you would love to play on PC? Oh, there's probably a lot of... Out! You get out now, Skills. Out! Leave this chat now. You are banned and you know it. Yeah. I've lost my friend now thanks to that. Have you played Detroit Walking Dead or Last of Us? I've played Detroit Become Human. I've played both of the first two seasons of Telltale's The Walking Dead. What was the other one? I forgot what the third game was. Oh, Last of Us. Yes, I've played both Last of Us games and I love them both. Fantastic games. Couldn't recommend them enough. I actually liked the two female protagonists from The Last of Us Part 2. Oh god, that's too big a question, Daydog. Oh god, what's my favourite PlayStation game? I mean, even if like I just was to take it down to one system, I still couldn't pick. I mean, there's 5 generations of PlayStation, 2 generations of handheld PlayStation, and a VR version. It's like there's just too much. There's too much. Even if I took it to one system, I still couldn't pick a game. My tastes are too out. My tastes are too big, and it's just I like too much stuff. Tekken. I'd have to go with Tekken. Even though I don't play it anymore, that's where I basically got my start in PlayStation. I played it in the arcades, and when I got my original PlayStation, I got Tekken and Ridge Racer with it, and I just love them. Yeah, but yeah, that was a hard place to go to. And the thing is, my brain's fighting with me for other games. Absolutely fighting with me for other games. Any other questions out there, guys? Related to the channel or related to gaming? Nothing to do with my family, thank you. And Skills, stop posting because I'm not reading. You are banned and you know you're banned. Thoughts on PSVR 2? Oh, very hopeful. Very hopeful indeed. I mean, I adored PlayStation VR. I mean, I got it straight from the beginning. And I used to play a lot of it. And this new version looks brilliant. Why did I start YouTube? Basically because I just thought, I can do that. And I love gaming, so I decided, give it a bash. And here I am 9 years later still doing it. Is there any PC game that you wish you could play? Any PC game I wish I could play? See, the thing is, most PC games, largely speaking, that I would want to play, eventually make their way to home consoles. So, eventually, if I want to play a game that exists, it usually tends to come to PlayStation, you know? So, I'd have to give that a, no, I don't. Everything's fine. I'm not cheap, mate. I'm just skint. You know, I mean, I'm working. I work, but you know, I've never been a rich man. I doubt I ever will be. But I like to think I do my bit for my family. You know, I pay my bills. I pay my taxes. I know you're only joking, but I gotta say, what any Nintendo games you like? I've liked a number of Nintendo games through the years. I've always liked the quirkier ones. New job is actually, I'm kind of between jobs at the moment. The new job that I took a couple of weeks ago it's not panned out. But I've got another thing on the horizon. Hopefully that's going to pan out real soon, and that should be good. Um, One of my favorite games I ever played on a Nintendo system. A lot of you probably won't know this game. Wet Tricks on the N64. Wet Tricks is basically a fluid-based version of Tetris on a 3D map, where basically water would come down and land masses would come down, and you would try to build bowls of land mass and collect the water, but then the water would get too high, so then you'd have to wait for meteor strikes to come down, hit the water, and evaporate the water, but you couldn't let the land masses get too big, because then they would have tectonic interference, and there'd be earthquakes, and then your water would leak over the side. So you were continually ever doing the thing. Would you ever set up a retro gaming shop? Whew. I don't know, and I don't think I know enough about retro gaming. I mean, I've done my share, but I think there are people that know way more of it than I do, and I think I'd be called out as a fraud pretty quickly. I mean, yeah, I'm from retro because I'm 47, but um, if if I was to own a gaming shop, that would be wonderful. But I think that's a short-lived thing. I think gaming shops are soon to be a thing of the past. Unfortunately, I reckon in another 5 to 7 years, stuff like game is going away. I mean, basically due to things like Amazon and the big box retailers being able to sell games far cheaper. First owned console, yes, I can most certainly answer that. And if you want to count my Commodore 16 that my mother bought for me and my sister, possibly. But if it's what I bought for me as me by me with my own money when I was earning money, the original first model OG big grey box PlayStation. Hey, Shook. So yeah, that was my original system, and I love that. All right, catch the VOD later, J Dog. Both versions of this video will be up. There'll be this version, the Snyder cut, and the YouTube cut down version will be available shortly after. Or depending, it might be ordered soon because it depends on how quickly YouTube basically lets this video, go through its servers and be available to watch afterwards, because it does take a while sometimes. I am 47, Chloe. What's your favorite order from Starbucks? I actually don't drink coffee. I used to work in coffee, but I actually dislike it. What were your if you weren't gaming, what other hobbies would you have? I used to actually have a number of hobbies. I used to study martial arts. I used to draw all the time. I used to read endless amounts of comics. Um, and I used to really love the cinema, especially science fiction. It's like, no, I didn't get fired from Costa Coffee. I left. I left after 13 and a half years of service, and then got into a better job. So let me be quite clear about that. If you're going to take my child's name, that is inadvisable because one, he doesn't call himself that on YouTube, and two, that isn't how he would actually speak. Let's see some of your art. Well, my art is available. Oh, right, my art is all upstairs, in cupboards and stuff, and it would take minutes to get to, and there's only about 9 minutes left in this uh, recorded part of the stream. But maybe someday I'll Instagram some of my art. That might be a thing to do. In fact, you know what? Once I've actually got the community tab, now that I'm 500 subscribers, once YouTube finally gets around to activating that, maybe I'll share some of my art from when I used to draw all the time on Instagram. That could be fun. Stop pretending to be my child. It is not funny, it's not clever, and you're not good at typing how he types. It's also not the name he uses online, so you are clamped, son. Have you ever... No, I will not, and he is not allowed here anymore. It's that simple. He will not be answered. What sequel of a game would you like to see? There's a number of games I would love to see get a sequel, or at least come back. I would dearly like to see a sequel to The Fight Lights Out, to PlayStation Home. I'd love another part of the Infamous saga, whether that be a reboot, remake of 1 and 2 on the same disc, or another game, after Second Son. I would love to see Mag come back. I missed that game dearly. I loved it. Um, it could be interesting now we're in PlayStation 5, to maybe have another crack at Ridge Racer, since the last Ridge Racer on PlayStation 4 was such an abysmal effort. Let's see, what else would I like? Mm, I would love another Deus Ex, and apparently that might be on the cards with what I was saying a couple of videos ago. So yeah, another Deus Ex would be absolutely wonderful, because I really adored those games. I mean, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided were absolutely fantastic. What else would I really like? You know what I'd really, really love? I would love to get a comeback for Mod Nation Racers. Brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant game. And it was just, honest to God, it was just something else. I'm seeing all these versions of me coming up. This is weird. It's like I never thought I'd be people's YouTube icon. It's kind of bizarre seeing it on screen, but whatever. If it makes you happy, on you goes in, bam. Any questions about about the channel or about gaming? Just keep on firing them in. We've got about 6 minutes before this recorded part of the stream stops, and then we get into the portion where I actually show you how I make videos happen. But we'll still be chatting, don't you worry. What martial art did I do? I studied a Korean martial art called Kutso One, spelled K-U-K, separate word, S-O-O-L, separate word, W-O-N. A systematic study of the entire martial arts history of Korea. So kicking, punching, joint locking, breathing, falling, meditation, blunt weapons, bladed weapons, acupressure, biomechanics, acrobatics, animal replication. My instructor, who I'm still friends with now, uh, he's working towards his second level master. Okay, and he's already doing things like stone throwing, sand use, horseback archery. It's like, and I loved it, but it's just not where I'm at anymore. Once I stopped doing it after a couple of years, I realized I couldn't go back, and I quit it basically because through various forms of injury and illnesses, I'd spent so much time away that I couldn't recall it in my head. My body remembered, someone would grab me and I could do things, but yeah, I could never really teach it anymore. I would have white belts and color belts coming up to me asking me questions, and I'd be stood there unable to answer their questions. Someone said something about a walkthrough channel, but I didn't quite catch it. Could you type it again, please? My favourite PlayStation console, whichever one I'm on currently. I mean, when I was on PlayStation 4, I loved that one. When I was on PlayStation 3, I loved that one. So by the time, if indeed ever there is a PlayStation 6, I'll probably love that one. It's like, because that's what's relevant. I mean, will you ever make a walkthrough channel? I don't know if I'd make a separate channel for walkthroughs. I mean, I'd quite like to do walkthroughs, but they're really tricky to set up and you have to get the recording right. I did eventually try to do that with Stray. It's like I intended to record the entire thing, and I was doing so, and then I cocked up one of the recordings and it didn't quite pan out. So that walkthrough series, which is what it was going to be, had to just get binned. But I did do a walkthrough playthrough of the second season of The Walking Dead by Telltale, and I did do a walkthrough video for the Nightwing expansion to Batman Arkham Knight. But as a rule, I just have gameplay in the background. Although I did at one time flirt with the idea of having a lip sync battle channel. I was going to lip sync to songs and just buck about. I also had the idea. Oh, games I'm looking forward to. I'll come back to that. I was flirting with an idea of doing a channel with my kid where we would just do sort of like react to videos of music and films and stuff and comedy sketches. A basic reaction channel. Older guy and younger guy, and he'd be introducing me to a thing one week, and the next week I'd introduce him to something, and we'd introduce back and forth to each other, you know, and see each other's reactions to the things we introduced them to. Um, Maybe someday, but not today. It's like because it's hard enough to make content for one channel, especially when I'm trying to squeeze in all the other parts of life. Anyway, PS3 asked about something to do with games, but I can't remember what it was. See if I can find it. What games am I looking forward to? What games am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to a lot of things. Some of them don't technically exist yet, but I think probably. Let's see. I'm really looking forward to those Assassin's Creed games I saw over the weekend. I mean, both Red and Hexen and Mirage all look very, very interesting. I'm also quite interested in this Division Heartland because I do love the Division. Let's see what else. I'm interested to see what happens with God of War Ragnarok. Although I never really got into God of War, but in a wee while, I'm actually gonna come back to it and give it another go. Because when I got hold of it a couple of years ago from one of my friends, I think I was so eager to try and make sure I got it back to him in a responsible time that I didn't really give myself a proper amount of time with the game. But now I've got it on Instant Game Collection through PlayStation 5. I think I can give myself the proper amount of time to play it properly. Let's see. What do I think will be the next the next PS Plus exclusive? Hmm. The next PS Plus exclusive, I reckon it'll probably be something like. Oh, right. I can't answer that question because we're about to run out of time on this particular part of the podcast, the recorded version. So I'm going to end it now with the usual refrain. But please do stick around for the rest while I make the video and still continue to talk to you guys. This will be the end. This would be we're moving through the Snyder cut and we're coming out with the clean cut. So the clean cut's going to enter really soon. I will answer, but once I finish this bit, so you actually get a part that's going to be outside of the main thing. And that's the old photo. Okay, right. So let's end this quickly before I run out of edit time. Okie doke. Okay, guys, thank you for coming along. It's been wonderful to have yous. That was the timer going off, even though I turned all the volumes down. Okay, it's been wonderful to have you along this evening. It's been a really great podcast. Some great questions out there. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you, some of you stick around for the post party. Hashtag Support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, no bother. And I always pause at the end there, basically, so to stop it. So I will now stop the video. Okay. Now, what I'm going to have... Unfortunately, you won't be able to see me anymore because I'm in the editing process, but you will still be able to hear me and you will still be able to comment on the video. Righty-ho. So, I'll flatten the tablet down for the timer because I don't need that anymore. Because that portion of the live stream is over. We're now back into the Snyder Cut part of the video. Right, so let's see. I now have to, let's see. I will disconnect the Blue Yeti microphone. So the sound quality will decrease, unfortunately. But it's just the way of things. Now bring the phone down a bit so I can see your comments. Oops. Righty-ho. Right, where was I? No bother. Okay, so It's going to be a bit loud. I better turn that down a bit so you guys don't get deafened by my telly. Let's see, down to 20, that should be enough. Okay, so a split there. Confirm split. And that bit will get deleted. Now we go to the front of the video. Nonetheless, and I give myself 10 seconds of cut-in time. Let's see, 11 seconds in. Exit! Okay, so we go back a little touch. Probably got back to the beginning of the clap, I reckon. How much for an autograph? I wouldn't charge you for an autograph. I'm not syndicate. You know. In fact, when I used to be a nightclub dancer, I had people who came to me for my autograph, and that was kind of fun. You know, I took it as a compliment. Hey, if you want to give me 50 quid, I'll have it. Don't you worry about that. But nah, I wouldn't charge you for that nonsense. That's not how I'm built, man. Hey, Zen Farm! Beautiful. Right, so now we've got that bit worked out. What we do now is we go out of this section. We get here to move clip. We bounce it along a little bit with big controls, and then we use the fine level control. And we move the bit right to the very beginning of the video, but just after the intro sequence. So we'll try applying that there, and then we give this a little play to make sure it matches up nice. Hey Zen! Cool. Then we come out of that, into here, and see edit track 2. And then we go to pip layout, and we go full screen. So once we've got it full screen, that's where we can really start to make some changes. I don't not like Syndicate. I just wouldn't be ready to charge for autographs, even if I got to be like a massive YouTuber like him, because you know it's all just you know, you look after your audience. You don't charge them. I mean, you know, if they buy your merchandise and they want a signature on that bit of merchandise, then yeah, I'll sign that malarkey. That just seems like a nice thing to do. It's probably not very capitalist, but then I'm a socialist, so that's how it goes. What you mean, have I got like photos of myself done? Well, I think I'd have to charge for those because there'd be a production cost in making those photos. But if you wanted to have a selfie with me, have a selfie with me. That's not a problem at all. Right, where was I? Okay, so we're 53 minutes and 9 seconds in. So what we've got to do is take it back to 53 and 7 seconds. Right, touch more. There we go. Actually, we touch more than that. Grand. And then we go out here. And we're into there. And we cut the video. Oops. Here. You can still ask questions and stuff, guys. This is still a going concern because you're just in the Snyder cut part of the stream, so you're basically getting to see how the sausage is made. Right. So this part here, we exit this. We come here. Sorry, not here. Add screenshots. You can see parts from previous videos I was working on. Let's see. Down, 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 down. Go. Still got to find something to do with this artwork. It tickled me, but I've got to find some way to use it because I just liked it. The Nothing Burger. Righty-ho. Has anybody actually got any questions? Because it seems to have dried up on the question front. I mean, we're in the after party, as it were. That'd be nice, but I think that'd be something for when I'm a bit bigger. Actually, you know what that would be? Because a PO box would cost money. That would be kind of thing that if there was a substantial amount coming from the Patreon that I intend to set up, the Patreon would totally fund the PO box. Premium Pro? No. I'm happy on the middle tier. My mate Dave helped me get to the middle tier. And yeah, right. If you're going to impersonate me, you can get out. In fact, I don't even know how you've got my name, and you will get reported to YouTube if you continue to do that. Honest to God, I do not appreciate my images, which are by the way copyrighted, being used against me. Where was I? All right, so trim clip. Okay, let's see, and then tiny little bits. Okay, still waiting on questions, guys. Okay, so I see what I do is I take this down to 3 seconds. Actually, take it a little bit more in. That's there. And then this, and make sure it's actually at 1 second. Where does my YouTube name come from? It's a really interesting question. The YouTube name came about because one day I decided I needed a new email account because I was basically signing up for Easy Everything. Easy Everything used to be this service which was basically a webcast, and I needed a new email for it because you had to set up an account that was theirs to use their service. And I was doing martial arts, and I've always, cause like the bit from Bill Bailey when he talked about a lot. I'm not a man, I'm just a bloke. And the two bits basically came together, and yeah, Zenbloke became the email account of that time. It's a different email account now because Easy Everything is basically only for business use now. And so yeah, I decided to go with Zenbloke, and I've used it ever since. And since I like the name so much, I've put it on everything: my Twitter, my Twitch, my Redbubble store, my Instagram. Um, you know, Snapchat when I bothered with that, radio when I bothered with that. I just used it everywhere, and it served me very, very well. And I've even made sure to put it on platforms I don't have, just so no one else can use it, and be unscrupulous with it. Uh, right, where was I? Okay, so in this part here, in the pre-edit version, come out of that, come into here, put in this, saved images. Wait, hang on, what's going on? There we go. For some reason, it worked it into the back of the last clip, which is all kinds of wrong. There we go. Now we're talking. Right, so I need to really fix that up because this is now far too long. And then we size this puppy up. Come on, guys, keep on with the questions. Otherwise, this is not much of an after show if I've not got questions. Let's see, so we've got that, and then we animate the sticker. So this is faded in. You get some pulsing. It fades out. And we give it a test.
Aye. No bother.
Cool. Then what we need to do is come out of that. And then we need to trim the clip a little bit because it is just far too long. Favorite film genre or franchise? When it comes to genre, it's always going to be science fiction. Love science fiction. Favorite franchise? I don't know about that because I like so many things. It's hard to put down. But there's certain films that I love and I always come back to. If there's a film I always come back to, it's the original version of Dune. I love Dune. Such an epic movie. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at this.
Aye. No bother.
Good, that's a nice length. Alrighty. Oh, Star Trek every day. All day, every day. But I love Star Wars, but Star Trek is where I'm at. It really is. It's one of the few things my father ever did right was introduce me to Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek, sorry. Just love it. It really is just a consistent joy in my life. Sorry, CD Unit. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars, but I love Star Trek more. Which in itself is a Deep Space Nine joke. Right, where was I? Okay, so then we come back to the beginning and we add music. Now I'm trying to think what's an appropriate track. Because it's like an hour's worth, but then we want something that I can loop happily. Dude, you're in the after party. So basically, the stream happened, but they're still in the stream. The stream has been broke. Is kind of two streams at one go. Where basically I was making the main video, I was doing the thank yous, the announcements for the future going forward, and then doing the Q&A. But there's still Q&A going on. But the main part of the video is now what you're seeing is me making the video from the main part of the video. But this is now the after party. But ask your questions and stuff, bruh. You are completely welcome as like as a brother, man. Did I cross the stream? Oh, I crossed the stream ideas, perhaps. Oh, the Sharknadoes, they are a good laugh. They are an excellent good laugh, man. They're completely stupid, but they're fun films. Let's see, actually, I use Basic Metal 6. Yeah, I use Basic Metal 6, because that is actually, I think that will do well for the talkie format. It's understated, but it's still good. Right, so select music, go to the end of the track, snip off the end. Okay, split music, confirm, delete that bit, come in here, and then we turn the music or the volume of the music down to 10%, which is generally what I found to be good because it means you can still hear it underneath, but it doesn't overshadow.
And I heard that like the hate.
See, so that bit of itself is fine, and then what we basically need to do is clone. I'm going to do a bunch of cloning because, well, I was talking for, better part of an hour. Alrighty. Anybody else got any questions? Oh, top 5 films. Sorry, I missed that. Oh, top 5 films. Well, as I said before, Dune. Let's see, what else do I really love? RoboCop. I love the original version of RoboCop deeply. Let's see, clone. Okay, so RoboCop, Dune, Akira. I love Akira. I've watched that movie so many times. Akira is just awesome. Um, South Park, bigger, longer uncut, because that is just absolutely hilarious. And I can't remember how many in I've got. Someone's asking Spider-Man or Batman. Batman. All day Batman. I mean, it's like Batman forced himself in the fires of his own will, whilst Superman was born with his powers, effectively, because, he fell to Earth and he became powerful. Batman had to make himself into what he is. Although, admittedly, he is a psycho, but, nobody's perfect. Except Superman, which is part of why I'm not into him. I should do daily vlogs. Thing is, it comes down to time, mate. It comes down to time. Well, duh. Although that is maybe a touch sexist, person using my name, which I do not appreciate. Somebody asked before, I think somebody asked a Kirk or Picard. I struggled with that one for a long time. Oh, you said Spider-Man. Sorry, my bad. Oh, now you've made it really difficult. Let's see. Spider-Man or Batman? Probably actually Spider-Man, because you know he's had to sort of like have his own struggles and stuff. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Spider-Man on that. And I think I've got too many copies here, so I shall delete that one. Confirm. Okay, I can delete that one as well. See, I got so busy with doing that. Yeah, somebody asked before Kirk or Picard, and like I said, yeah, I struggled with that one for years, but Picard is better. He's smarter, he's more resourceful, he is more analytical, and quite frankly, he's not a womanizer, you know? It's like he's got everything I believe are some of the more desirable aspects of a Starfleet captain. Bucket list. Bucket list. Ooh. I don't really have much of a bucket list, to be fair. I mean, most of the stuff I've ever wanted to do, I've done a lot of stuff. And, you know, I think as long as I can, look after everybody in my life, then that'll be fine, you know. I don't really want for much, I just don't want to be skint. That'd be nice to not be skint. Um, I'd like to be in a place where not necessarily be rich, but if a friend came to me and go, dude, I'm got troubles, I've got no money, I could go, here you go, mate, here's 50 quid, don't worry about it, and you don't have to worry about paying me. Oh, obviously, I'd love to do something like go to Gamescom, or even more so, go to E3. But I don't know if I'd necessarily call that bucket list. Those are just like basic ambitions. See, this is where I fade the end of the music of the video. I think it gives it a nicer sort of feel. So you watch.
Bother.
See how that fades away? It's a really nice fade, I think. Right, so let's see. Let's give it a little check through all the way back to the beginning of this 53-minute 11-second video.
Hey Zen fam! Welcome to the stream. Well, here we are, 9 years of
Right, so we'll go right back to the very beginning.
Hey Zen fam! Welcome to the stream. Well, here we are.
See, I would have agreed with you on the GoFundMe, but I've been reading things about GoFundMe recently, and often they're not very good at paying out. In fact, sometimes what they end up doing, if they don't think your thing is real, they just give everybody their money back, and then you go and spend the money that you don't have on the thing that you now no longer have the money for. That's one of the reasons why I'd prefer to set up a Patreon, but the Patreon, you see, then I can definitely write it into you know, into sort of lore or whatever that like it's only for the channel. It's only to make things more for the channel. It doesn't go to me. It's never going to be for me. And I've wrestled with this decision for a long time. People have told me to set up a Patreon over the years a great many times. Yeah, I would love to go to E3 for you guys. Report on the scene for you and show you what it's actually like. Never mind this highfalutin IGN. Oh, look at us. We're at the Nintendo stage. We're at the Ubisoft stage. Show you what it's actually like at a convention for real. That'd be really seriously cool to do, which is something I definitely want to do for you guys, which is why I need a passport, you know, and I need money to be able to get to these places, because let's face it, flights and accommodation, that's all money. Okie dokie, so now what I do, now that I've got like I've got the background video set up, I've got the second track set up of me green screened over the top of it, I've got the music set up, now what I do is I export it to gallery. This is going to take a little while because it's nearly an hour long video. So while that's doing, I can definitely answer questions. Let's see, ones that are actually sensible. Yeah, EP tickets are crazy expensive. In fact, I think they actually might be more expensive than that. But then there's different pricing of tickets for press. So I would obviously have to apply for a press pass. But that's something that's not too far away from my imagination. I used to do it for Resonate, and the last three Resonates I did actually have a press pass. I'll come up with the competition for the t-shirt thing later once I'm a little bit larger. I want to be a bit bigger before I try that again. Believe me, I've written to many, many companies and continually write to companies to see about, doing a little partnership. One of the recent ones I tried was one of the companies that actually customizes controllers. And I thought, I can advertise their controller on the channel and get a free controller out of it, not just for having the controller, but then I could also do, an unboxing and review of said controller. Unfortunately, they didn't bite. And there's been other ones along the way. The only one so far that's ever been even remotely successful was a couple of years ago when I did a review for a sound and vision company called Majority, and I reviewed their sound bar. But I think most of the time, a lot of these companies only want to work with YouTubers bigger than me. I mean, I'm only a 500 plus, subscriber sized channel. So for a lot of other brands, especially big brands like Scuff, I'm probably too small to deal with, currently speaking. But that would be interesting. But if I was going to use you know, a Scuff type controller, a controller with all those many, many controls in it, I'd actually go for that new Joy Sense, the new DualShock. I forget what you call it. Not DualShock, the new DualSense, the one with all the stuff on the bottom of it. I don't know, but if you know of any, then do please message me separately from this. And if you know of any that would be wanting to work with me, that'd be amazing. Have I ever tried, what was that? G Fuel. I can't remember if I have or haven't. I would like the new controller, but God, getting hold of it, yeah, I know the money. Um, but they have an Iron Brew flavor. Are you saying, or are you questioning whether or not I like Iron Brew? I don't know if they have an Iron Brew flavor. I'd give it a go. But if you're asking about, where was I? About Iron Brew itself, I used to adore Iron Brew. In fact, there's a video on the channel from when the sugar tax was getting ready to hit Iron Brew and make Iron Brew not be Iron Brew anymore. And I haven't drunk Iron Brew since my stash of full sugar Iron Brews ran out. And I miss Iron Brew dearly, but it's not Iron Brew anymore, and I will not drink it on principle because it is not Iron Brew. It is a lie. Um, Come on, 15% complete. Then again, I mean, we're talking about a video that's nearly an hour long, so it's not entirely surprising. Oh, God. Let's see where else, what other questions were asked. Oh, do you feel flavour be tobacco? Ugh! Well, one, I don't think they would make that flavour. I don't see that selling. No, they don't. They just don't. Read the side of the Read the side of the can or the bottle. The sugar went down in percentage markedly. There's still a few people who no, it's not. It is an abomination to the terms of Iron Brew. I love you, Ian, man, but nah. And ignore that person pretending to be me. That's not me. I'm talking. I'm not typing. I'm talking because I'm busy editing. Uh, in fact, it's sort of like you'll know how it's me and how it's no him because I'm the only one that knows how to type this. Although, admittedly, once I type it, uh, I know because wait a minute, I can say it, but he won't know how to spell it correctly. Shabba. Let's see. I never actually got to try Iron Brew 32, but I heard it was okay. Um, yeah, but seriously, the 1901, I actually did try it. I streamed it. I set up my phone on one side of me and my tablet on the other, had them both in front of me, and stop pretending to be me. It's not funny. And basically, one was streaming me from Twitter, and the other was streaming straight to my Instagram. And I drank it live for two audiences at the same time. And yeah, it wasn't very good. It's not full sugar. It's still reduced. You read the ingredients from an original container of Iron Brew from 4 years ago, and you will see it is not the full sugar version. Person pretending to be me. Seriously, get lost. Of course you can't get Iron Brew here. Nobody can get Iron Brew. You can get stuff that's called Iron Brew, but it's not Iron Brew. Ah, dear God. Still only 26% in. Ah. But it's just a matter of principle. For me, it's like the Iron Brew from 3-4 years ago. I loved that stuff. I used to drink it on my stream. Actually, I would go out and get a 2 liter bottle and just like basically demolish it over the course of a stream. And that it's the original recipe to a fashion. It's actually a reinterpretation of the original recipe. Favorite Scottish food? Oh, there's a lot of things I like. I mean, I do love stovies. Stovies is amazing. Um, I do like a nice bit of salmon. Proper salmon is good. I mean, of course, I love a chippy. And I do really, really like haggis. I've even had venison haggis, which is absolutely gorgeous. But the blended together of two awesome things sometimes makes a thing more awesome. And Lord knows I do like a haggis supper. But I mean, I've had other things, from the Scottish menu, and yeah, it's closer in recipe, but intent, no. I see where you're going, but if you've had, as someone that remembers how both of them taste, the original thing and the 1901 doesn't even come close. What the 1901 tastes more like, it's more like an Asda or Tesco version of Iron Brew, is what it's like. But as far as it being like actual, proper, real, original Iron Brew from 4 years ago, doesn't even come close, mate. It has a good stab to it, don't get me wrong, but it's not right. Um, Dang, I lost my thread now. Anybody else got any actual gaming questions or channel related questions? Because this is going to be going for a wee while I make this video, so you've got a good time with me. You just said haggis, now English breakfast. I never said English breakfast. I never said English breakfast. Maybe the person pretending to be typed it in. I don't know. I've been ignoring him or her. Um, God, we're getting close for the state of play, so I'm kind of hoping this is up soon. What's the worst thing about being Scottish? Being being run by Westminster. Oh, it's all the different streams start up from all the different accounts I follow on YouTube, who are basically, yeah, well, then you can just stop it. In fact, if anything, you can't call yourself my name because my name is denoted by gender. So if you are indeed non-binary, then you're doing yourself in by adopting my name. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. I see ho. Aye, so I'm definitely probably gonna. Yeah, we do actually. We've got two pet rats, and I've had a number of pet rats over the time. Usually tend to get them in pairs, but most of them in the past have been boys. But these ones are girls, and pet rats are just fun. They're intelligent, and yeah, they're just personable and they're snuggly, and you know, occasionally they make a mistake when they're climbing something, and they're funny. Although these ones are a wee bit more fierce than the ones I've had in the past. I remember my first rat, Miko, and I could actually Miko would run about on me, and like he would even groom my eyelid and my eyebrows. Our rats are called. Hang on, I got an itchy neb. Oh god. Ah, our rats are Coco and Luna, and they're lovely wee girls. They're both brown. One's a sort of a light sort of milk chocolate brown, and the other one's like a deep dark brown with a cream underbelly. They're definitely fancy rats, but not champagne rats. They've managed to not get like red eyes like some of the other ones we've got from Pets at Home. Hang on, I missed that last one there. What was that? Hang on, get rid of the text box. Uh, what do you mean a face reveal at 2K subs? I'm always on camera. It's like I very seldom am not on camera. Right, now I know who it is pretending to be me. That is got skills, and you can get lost. I've told you, you are banned. Get out. Yeah, that's your choice if you want to. Me, I have no truck with royals. That would actually be quite interesting. I would like to play that. Although you'd have to find a way for it to be not just a clone of Stray, because that would be the first thing that people would say. Oh, it's just a clone of Stray. You need to find an original angle for it. And also, not a lot of people like rats. A lot of people are scared of rats. I mean, the last time we had rats in a video game was, Plague Tale Innocence. I've not played the Ratatouille game, but generally speaking, whenever Disney make games surrounding one of their movie properties, they usually tend to be rather well made. And in the 90s, oh my god, some of the games they made were hard. I mean, like the Hercules game was, some parts of it were near impossible. One Boss, One Gaming. Hello, I don't think I've seen your name before. Are you a fellow YouTuber with a name like that? And I'm just waiting for your comment to come through on the phone because not all your comment is visible for some reason on this particular format on the screen. Because I saw you ask something about my job. One boss, ignore that guy pretends to be me on the chat because only me chatting is the actual me talking. That person is actually another another account who is pretending to be me, who is an account who has a separate account that is banned from this channel because he spoke about my family in unflattering terms, and I will simply not have that. No, he's not Zemblook 2, he's nothing. He is technically nothing. Oh, you know what type of channel did you have, my friend? Actually, there is a new RoboCop game coming from the same people that did the Terminator video game a couple of years ago. And the trailer's up, and I actually reacted to that trailer recently in a video. And I'm very excited about it because I love the RoboCop movies. I even watched the RoboCop series that was on when it was on. Although I have seen a couple episodes of the animation series, and I seriously don't recommend it. But the new RoboCop remake from a couple of years back, I just won't watch it because I just don't want one of my favorite films to be spoiled by what apparently is a not very good RoboCop. And also, it's just not RoboCop. It's that simple. Right, so we're at 67%. This is taking ages. So it's nice to see. Dude! Oh, it's nice to have you in the stream nonetheless. As if you haven't seen, I guess you're just only stepped in now, Wolf. The only thing with the stream that I'm doing is I've basically done it in two parts. It's been all one long fix. Now, ignore that guy, Grey Wolf. He's basically pretending to be me, and he's really getting on my wick. I can't be having this guy. He's just doing my nut. Um, So when you hear my voice, that's me talking. This, you see the one typing? That is certainly not me. Yeah. So this stream tonight has been in two bits. It's sort of like it's been one continuous thing, but there was a bit before the stream when I was just talking, and then I basically have been doing this all on Share Factory. So I recorded the video in Share Factory for the main part of the stream where I did the thank yous, I did talking about some announcements for the channel, and then I opened up the Q&A. And now, once the video is finished, the main part of the stream ended, and that's going to be what goes up as the clean version. What you're seeing now is basically I'm referring to as oh, walkthroughs, nice, as the Snyder cut. So this is going to go up as an unedited version as well. So there'll be an edited and an unedited. So there's basically two versions of this stream going up. A cleaned up proper version, which is all done nicey, and this sort of rough and ready one where you're getting to see how the sausage is made. I'm doing well, Taylor. I'm doing well, mate. I've got a fraud trying to be me in the stream, but other than that, I'm doing quite well, thank you. As you may have noticed, I recently hit 500, and also recently I was nominated for YouTuber of the Month, and ignore those two people pretending to be me, because they're not me. The only me is the me that is talking. I am not typing because I'm editing a video. Um, dang it, I keep losing my my place because I keep having to sort of like put out fires. Aye, so I got nominated for YouTuber of the Month on a channel by the name of Generation Pixel. So basically, if you go to his YouTuber of the Month video for this month, and you put my name into the chat of that channel, then that counts as a vote towards me, and I've got a chance of winning YouTuber of the Month, the nomination. And once all the nominations are in for the end of the year, then whoever wins gets to actually carry the series forward for another year, and it keeps it rolling. And this competition, YouTuber of the Month, has been going for about 10 years. So it's rather prestigious in that way. But even though, I mean, it was just nice to be nominated. In fact, I credit the nomination of YouTuber of the Month for me cracking 500. Uh, I think I've got as much chance as anybody else. It's really stiff competition because there's some really great channels in there. But I don't discount it. But there's a couple of channels that are looking really good. I'll speak for myself. Thank you very much. Person that's pretending to be me, being contradicted in my own chat. Honest to God. So I seriously do not need this. Anyway, where have we got to? One boss, one gaming. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. That's really awesome of you. When do I find out if I've won? I would probably imagine I find out towards the end of the month. I'm not sure the date. But when I found out I was nominated for it, I found out at the end of the month. Stop misrepresenting my words and trying to be me. It is not funny. This is getting beyond a joke. If it wasn't for the... Stop spoiling the stream for other people. I'm trying to actually show people how this is done. Oh, you're a fellow Scottish gamer as well. That's lovely. Oh, shame your channel's not going, because otherwise I would have put you into my series. I do this series called Hashtag Support Scottish YouTubers, where basically I look up other Scottish gaming channels under 1K, and then I feature them. Stop it. And yeah, I feature those channels, and I give them a bit of a spotlight so then other people can see them. This is most tiresome, these people pretending to be me, using my imagery. You're going to bring back your channel. Well, cool. I tell you what you do. Hit me up on Twitter when you're set up. Find me a link to your channel, and I'll have a wee watch. And if I'm digging what I'm seeing, I might very well highlight you. I've got a couple other channels I'm waiting on getting back to me. But I suppose I just got to wait for them getting around to actually seeing it. When do I think I'll hit 2K? How long's a piece of string, bro? I mean, seriously. Nobody can ever count on these things. I mean, I didn't think I was going to hit 500 till I was hoping I might hit it by midwinter. But now that I've hit it here just at the end of the summer, then yeah, everything is then bloke. My Twitter, my Twitch, my Redbubble store, my Instagram, you know. Everything I have is all under the Zenbloke name. No bother. It's all good. It's all good. Hopefully you have a wee look back through my content and you'll... What will I get if I win YouTuber of the Month? Uh, just the actual... the chance to be the guy who nominates the next 5 contestants for the following month. If I won the whole thing to be YouTuber of the Year, then what I would win is then the rights to host the next year's worth of competition. So I would carry forward the mantle of the YouTuber of the Month competition. And then I would be the one hosting it, presenting it, so to speak, and putting it out, and working with other YouTubers to make it happen. You're trying Cyberpunk again? Oh, and actually enjoying it on PS5? Well, that's cool. Right, so we don't share that because that was the basic version. Right? So now what we do is we come... that's exported to gallery. Yeah. No, I've done that. Stop pretending to be me. It's not big, it's not clever. Right, so we come out here. We don't bother saving because it's already been saved. And then we go to new project. Come down here again. We get rid of the YouTube Studio comes at the top. You see, there's the video that's been recorded. Because what I need to do now is sign that one up as the one we're doing. We'll put the title on this. So 500 thank you stream. I won't be able to put all that in because you've got a character limit on this one. So it's when I come to the actual titling screen, I'll be able to, title it properly when it's actually going to the YouTube server from the upload screen. So I'll just put 500 thank you here, and then I'll be able to put the rest of the title in properly. Yeah, I've heard that the Shenmue 3 was not what it was supposed to be, but then how could it ever be? Because it was of its time, and, it never really was going to survive being out of its time. Right, so then we put that there, and we go to add overlay. Hey Barry Wood, nice to see you, my friend. Tee-ho. By the way, Barry, there's a couple of people in here pretending to be me. Ignore them. They are not me. The only me that is me is the me that is talking in an audio fashion. Any text versions of me talking are not me. Right, so then we go to text. Go to here. And then we go share. Extend the duration to 10 full seconds. Color to red. We change the text font to that one. We animate the text to slide out. Middle animation of pulse. Beginning animation of slide in. Come out of that. Come out of that. All the way to here. See, now you're really seeing how these videos are put together. It's a long process. It's not just I slap it up on YouTube. Editing goes into this, and thought goes into this. It's not just smash it up. You should try to deliver us the moon. It just reminded me of Lee and Herring. It's like, you want the moon on a stick. Oh man, classic stuff. I actually met Lee Herring, and I got him to tell me that I wanted the moon on a stick. And that's when I was working in a coffee shop in the middle of the town, man, during the festival. I just made my day. What's next for your channel? Any ideas for the future? Oh, tons of ideas. But you'll have to wait and see what happens. Apart from the idea of setting up a Patreon to try and get funds to hopefully to give the channel more equipment and stuff to make better content. But as far as ideas, I'm going to keep those in my back pocket because of my ideas, and there's far too many people out there who would probably want to steal my ideas. Pulse, yep, and slide in, yep, good. And then text effect. Cool. Color, red, boom. What are these fellow Pog gamers up to? Pog gamers? I don't think I know that term. I take it Benjamin and Barry, you guys know each other? I have to wait for that text thing to disappear, so there we go, now I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I've been saying that I want to do a few more live streams, but not too many because I like to keep my live stream primarily on Twitch. But I think I'll do the occasional one here and there on YouTube. Yeah, just friendly chats and stuff. What would be really neat is if I could, like, you know, maybe at some point do something where I don't know if like maybe the Discord functionality could work better and maybe do like actual podcasts with two people on screen at the same time. What is a ZenFam? Well, basically anybody that like follows on any one or more than one of my platforms, my Twitter, my Twitch, my Instagram, my Redbubble, my obviously here, and basically they are the ZenFam. It's the collective term for people who subscribe slash follow what I do. And it's just that I just think it's a good way of sort of like putting it all down. Got lost where I was. Ah, yeah, it's the comment one. Good. Because it's not me typing, mate. Someone is pretending to be me, and they're actually beginning to really test my patience. Yeah, I'd love to co-op with folk in the community. That would be awesome. Ho. I mean, I would love to do like proper podcasts and do real sort of collabs. And there's a number of people who I've spoken to about such things, but it never really comes to much because it takes two to tango in these particular operations. But eventually I'll find somebody who wants to do something. Not if you keep pretending to be me, you can't, because and even if I find out who you are, because you've been like this in my chat, I doubt very much I'd actually like to do anything with you at all, because you've been a disruptive force in my chat, and you have spoiled a good portion of the stream with being like how you're being. Let's see. Slide out. And there. It's people like you, pretending to be me, that make me not want to do these live streams. So maybe you might want to consider that. Yeah, well, stop calling yourself me and use a different name and use a different thing. I don't have a moderator yet, so whoever you are not the moderator yet. As if you were here part, for the middle part of the hardcore part of the stream, yeah, I've got too many things on my hands right now. Trust me, if I had the ability to, I would. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I can. I think I can do it from my phone. Let's see. Boom. Okay, and boom. Remove. Let's see. Anybody else want to be wide? Remove. There we go. I have a Sony Xperia 1 Mark II, and it's a great phone. It's a really good phone if you're a content creator, Barry. Thoroughly recommend. In fact, the most recent version of Xperias are brilliant. No, I don't want to block the entire chat. I just blocked those ones that were uh, basically being disruptive. They can probably still see the stream, that's fine, but I don't want them talking anymore. Thank you for reminding me of that, Grey Wolf. That was most useful. I forgot I could do that there. Right, anyway, so the last part of the texty bits. Righty-ho. And then up there is done. Keros, the dude, the absolute champion. You've come at the tail end of the stream where basically I'm now showing people how the sausage is made, how these videos are put together. basically what I was doing at the start of the stream, I was just chatting while I set everything up, and I've basically streamed from Share Factory where I make the videos, and then I did the entire video making a video while streaming the video, and then that was basically cut down, and the rest of the stream is now me making the video while still talking to people. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things you can do on PS5, dude. It's a super flexible system. I mean, right now, you're on my PS5, I'm doing the stream, and I'm editing my video live. So look, I'll show you. I can do this is spin away, or I can do it slide out, fly letter, fly out, takes a few seconds, roll out. So these are the different options I have for how I make my things go. So I normally just have it slide out. The PS5 doesn't have a web browser. They use the web browser in the PS3 and in the PS4, and on the Vita and on the PSP, but they took it out for PS5. Primarily, I believe, to stop jailbreaking, because it's easier to jailbreak a system if you have it with web access, but if you don't have web access, it's much harder to jailbreak a system. Ooh, that would be nice. That would be a very good thing to do. I was kind of hoping to jump in with you as things were going on with the stream tonight, but things are taking a bit longer. I really need to rush this up because the state of play is happening as we speak, or at least it will be starting up really, really soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get my tablet going, going to fire up its Bluetooth, get my Bluetooth headphones and have one headphone going so I can still experience the state of play but still talk to you guys, because looks like I'm going to have to try and follow it so then I can actually make a video upon it. So I'm really multitasking right now. Ooh, GTA 6. Hang on. Turn off the Bluetooth on my phone. Have the Bluetooth on my tablet. Click into that. Let's see. PlayStation State of Play live on Twitch. Hopefully it's not been going too long. Yeah, I doubt that GTA 6 is on the PlayStation thing. Okay, we've got some sort of Star Wars game. I'm guessing probably the new Fallen Order. Tales from Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. Right, I missed all of that. I'll have to catch up on the VOD afterwards. Oh, we're doing PSVR 2 content. Sweet. Okay, right. Yeah. Well, we'll see when I actually watch the VOD, Barry. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, so color. Alright, good. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, get that to the end of there. Good. Now we import image of the bell, as in ring that bell, because that's a whole thing on YouTube. I need to turn this tablet down a bit because it's making me shout because I'm listening to the state of play on one headphone. Right, where was I? Okay, so confirm the link for that. Transform it so it's over here. About yawn size. Move it over here. And then sticker animation. So it pops in. pulses, and then zooms away. Uh, Ooh. Is this going to be like some sort of PSVR thing for Ghost of Tsushima? That does look like Jen's uncle. Well, that also does kind of look a bit like Yakuza in its art style. Oh yeah, it looks like a sort of early Yakuza sort of game then, but with samurai swords and stuff. In fact, during the samurai period. That's cool. Right, where was I? And then we put text under that. We go to the smallest version of the text. Ring that bell. Move back that up to 10 seconds. Put the red in. Oh, this is going to be Hogwarts Legacy, isn't it? Yeah. Still very much on the fence about that. Okay, so pop in Pulse. Or maybe this is a Harry Potter game, but to do on PSVR 2. Right then, so then zoom away. Okay, and then transform. It was somewhere about here, I think. I'll get to fix that in a minute. Right. So let me do another one. Import images. And we take the t-shirt design. And we take that over here. Boom. Sticker animation. We do spin drop, pulse, and fade out. And then, ooh, so some sort of post-apocalyptic game. Kind of has a bit of a look of Days Gone about it. Oh, wait a minute, is this going to be the Wolverine game? Considering the moodiness of it. And the collapsing motor is very Wolverine. Ooh, that's atmospheric as all get out. Chat's going like Alan Wake and stuff. Okay, so it's definitely. Well, maybe it's a zombie survival type game. Intriguing. Anyway, full 10 seconds. Put it here. Okay. Sticker animation. Spin drop. Pulse. Fade out. Now this is where I get to sort the position of everything. Okay. So the Redbubble logo is pretty much fine. Just needs a tiny wee tweak. There we go, cool. And that is there, fine. Then ring that bell. That needs to get moved. Fine. Okay. Actually, I should move that up a bit more, and then I can move the bell up a bit. Yeah. Oh, we're getting PlayStation Stars news. Nice. Now, let's see how that's looking. Okay, so that's all looking as it should. Great. Okay, so I come out of this mode, take it back to the beginning, check it over.
Hey Zen Fam, welcome to the stream.
And you see,
Well,
this
here
is
we are,
how
9
all the
years of
beginning
hard work,
animation stickers and stuff are
sweat,
supposed to work,
determination,
how they would normally work
shares,
on the
and
actual video when this one is
collabs and all the
released.
rest of it. And
Once
we're
it's made
here
its way
at
through the YouTube server and been all checked over
500
for copyright and sound
subscribers.
and stuff.
All thanks to you glorious Zen Fam. In fact, earlier today, I noticed
So
that
I'm showing my
basically
content on my
I'm now
content,
standing
which
at
is kind of weird.
506 subscribers. I mean,
Right, so that is everything we need. So now what I do is I'm going to import that, export that to gallery. And then from there, it's basically just a matter of, once it's exported to gallery, then export it to the YouTube server. And within some amount of time, it'll actually then be on the YouTube server, and it'll be launched as a full video with proper thumbnail, annotations, tags, and all the rest of it. And that, you wonderful Zen fam, will be that. So then both versions of tonight's stream, the 500 thank you stream with Q&A, will be live. Both the unedited Snyder cut and the clean version will be there for you to enjoy. This has been a long stream. There have been some difficult people in the chat, but thankfully they are gone now. I thank you for your appearance this evening. I wish you all a pleasant night. Go out there and enjoy the state of play. I'm going to love you and leave you now. I've been talking for a very long time and my throat is tired. Yeah. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers, and of course, as always, aye, nae bother.